G'day everybody, Duckville here. Welcome to a Zerg vs Protoss matchup. It has been taken from the WCS seat qualifiers for the, well, it's seat qualifiers for WCS America. I've got a couple of these which will be going up. Not necessarily doing entire series, just trying to pick out a couple of interesting games from some of the players that have sent them through to me. Because we did have a stream up from the ACL crew, casted by Maynard and Zeph. They were doing the mainstream commentary, but of course there were a couple of games also going on that weren't broadcast, so I thought I'd try and grab some of these and we can, have a look at how some of the other players went during the qualifiers. So down at the bottom right hand side of one of the new maps in the map pool is Alopex from Trick or Treat. Alopex is a Zerg player, who has been making rounds and has been around for a little while now as well. We'll see how Alopex is going to go up against a very long time, I guess, veteran of the C region here, and has been competing at some of the other events around the place as well. It is Blysk from Team Flash. Now, Blysk, as I said, he's certainly been around for a while. He's a very crisp Protoss player who just, you sort of look at certain players who are just, who sort of just hit their timings really well and are very adept at sort of picking up when they can push forwards and, capitalize on when they need to be attacking or playing into a macro game or something like that. That's a lot like how Blysk plays. He's really good with that kind of stuff. So we'll see what he wants to do this time against Alopex. Now this map is Heavy Rain, which is one of the new ones that has been added to the map pool. Of course, you have your natural just down the ramp there. There's a lot of space inside the main here. You can see all of this area here that is, well, it's prime area for blinking in PvT, but I'm not sure how blink would work in PvZ. I'm not exactly too sure. I don't think I've seen anyone try it on this map, but obviously there's still a lot of space to maneuver around. There are a couple of pathways that lead out from the natural, heading out towards what can be a third base just over here, or another third base that can be just down the road over here at this position. But this one, it can be exposed. There's a ramp that leads down there, and there's also this weird little path down the back, which it's such a weird. I really get a little bit confused about this path. It sort of seems like, it's just purely meant to be a secret path down the back, and that's around about it. But I'm not really sure. There's a couple of bases through the middle. Of course, the main pathway, which your scouting worker will take, goes through here in the center, and then there are these. I guess they're kind of like backdoor expansions way out in the corners of the map, and they can be very exposed to attacks, so you got to be careful about this kind of stuff. Most of the time we see Zerg players take this space over here, although I have seen some people, it's still, I think it's a little bit undecided, kind of like Polar Knight, how people will take, the base that's, in a very similar position to this, or they'll perhaps take the one off to the side. It's still a little bit undecided as to which one's the best, but I think overall a lot of people do sort of choose the outer base. But we'll see how Alopex is going to go about things here. Well, it looks like one of these, is this Overlord going to get taken down? This will be quite interesting. Alopex needs to get it out of there. I'd say, yeah, ducking off to the side would be a good idea. The Stalker is now going to head out. A Mothership Core is going to be coming along with it. A couple of Lings have been produced, but they are going to get shot down, it looks like. Looks like one will get through. Bliss decides to just head back across. He knows that with a couple of Lings out of the map that he will be able to have a quick scout of what's going on, and there will be a sentry back at home that should be able to clean up this last remaining Ling. There you go. Cleans him up, shines the flashlight on him, and then he is dead. But it looks like Blysk is still going to have a quick peek. Where is that third base? Okay, it should be going up at around about this time. We did see that Alopex wanted to put it up, but found that there was a Stalker here, so there was no way that was going to happen. This Overlord will go down, it looks like, and that is going to be a little thorn in the side of Alopex. So he's going to be a little bit frustrated about that. Looks to push in, but there were a couple of sentries defending the front door. So Blysk is feeling comfortable right now, I'd say. He's got his Forge coming up, double gateway as well to take him to a total of 3. We don't really see any extra tech back inside the main. We still just sort of going off this Forge, and judging by the timing of this Forge, we've got no Robo or anything like that. I don't think we're going to see any kind of Immortal Sentry or anything, and I would assume, yeah, some more sentries. We're probably going to be seeing an expansion build coming out of Blysk here. So we may want to head out towards a macro game here. Blysk trying to pick off one of the creep tumors there, just misses it, but the speedlings are now coming out. And Alopex wants that Stalker, he wants to take it down, gets rid of it, and does lose a couple of lings for his adventure there, but not to worry, it's only a few lings, you don't need to really be worried about that kind of thing. But Blysk just confirming the third base is here as well. So for Alopex, we want to see some more creep spreading. That is just moving out now. As we can see, his drone count is now up to 40. It's going to continue to increase as 5 more drones are just about to pop out. We've got a Roach Warren inside the main. Blysk is going to just double check and he's going to see that. And he will see some of these drones also popping out. So things are all proceeding very normally, you would say, in this match at the moment. But a Twilight Council is being added in for Blysk. Perhaps we'll see a little bit of a blink or perhaps a DT follow-up to this initial little bit of pressure that he threw out there. But the Overlord does spot the third base, and I believe it did spot it. Yeah, it does spot the Nexus going down at the third base. The Mothership Core is here to defend, and as well as the 6 sentries that are out, they will be able to help hold back any early attacks. And with +1 to weapons, things should be all very nice and clean for the moment for Blysk. So he's going to be moving up in his economy, but Alopex, he's going to be the one who's going to do the initial aggression right now. 18 roaches are on the way. We've got a few lings going to be following that up, but Blink is coming through, +1 to weapons for Blysk, and a Robo is just about to come through as well. So he's going to have quite a task on his hands. I think Blysk may have seen what was coming. Yeah, he should have perhaps seen that the roaches were coming through. There's a lot of roaches now marching their way through the center of the map here. We can see that there is a destructible rock tower here, and I'm a little bit surprised that Blysk has not knocked this one down, but it looks as if he is going to let these roaches push on through. Will there be enough defense? The Nexus is just about to complete. The sentries come out to greet the roaches. Should be able to force field most of these guys out, and well, the Nexus completes. We'll get a photon overcharge. There it is. And as long as Blysk is careful with these with the force fields, I think he should be okay. We've got a lot of sentries available, and as you can see, there you go, just catching a couple of units. You don't want to get like the whole crew of roaches trapped in there. You just want to grab a couple of them at a time. Of course, when we don't have a huge amount of stalkers there, you want to just try and grab little bunches of the roaches, not the whole thing. And that is exactly what Blysk has done here. The Nexus stays alive, 300 health on that Nexus right now. It was very close to death, but I think Blysk has finally done it. And at this point, maybe you can knock down the rocks, put up a couple of cannons to defend this base, because it is going to be a target of choice for our Zerg player. But it looks as if, wow, Mothership Core coming out to get some more killing done, but Alopex he knows that this Nexus is extremely low right now, and if he can get in there before the shields regen, that'd be awesome for him. But there are still all of these sentries there. The Mothership Core still has enough energy for a photon overcharge, and after that attack, Alopex is going to be feeling, well, I didn't really kill any workers, I didn't really kill any units. The only real thing that we got done there was almost killing the Nexus and using up a lot of force fields. So he's going to be, this is a point where for Alopex he's got to make a decision. Do I try and drone up and try and catch up in the economy, or do I try and just follow up and do a big all-in attack? And it looks like he's going to go with the economic route for the moment. Hydralisk Den getting some groovy spines. We'll see that the main base is also going to be grabbing a macro hatch there. Roach speed, all the things also coming along here, but Blysk wants to attack. He's got Blink, he's got +1. The Lings are now going to come inside the third base. A few Zealots will warp in, but it won't be in time. That Nexus is definitely going down, and with that, we'll see the Lings retreating here. I'd assume they're going to retreat because they need to get back. Alopex's third base is under threat, and that is guaranteed to go down. I think we'll just recall out of here, as Blysk will recognize, yeah, there's no need to continue on with the attack there. There were two reasons for that. One is that he's taken out his opponent's third base, and he's getting his own third back together. And the other reason was that with no recall with no warp in available, like no pylon and no warp prism off to the side or anything like that, there was no real need to sort of risk continuing on with that attack, especially once the Hydras had started to come out for Alopex. So good decision there for Blysk. Groove Spines is done. +1 to weapons is over, halfway done here for our Zerg player. We can see that he is sitting on a much better economy than what he was on before, but he's still very far behind in respect to that. He still has this hatchery on the way. We would normally be getting a 4th base by this time, and now with Blysk about to finish up his 3rd Nexus, his economy is going to be sitting in a great position as well, considering the fact that Blysk is also on 62 workers. So it's going to be a very, very comfortable position for our Protoss player here. +1 to armor, just about to finish up. We've got our first of the Colossi on the way. Extended Thermal Lance is also being researched. And, I mean, this is going to be really, really well, nicely timed here for Blysk. He's going to be able to push across. In fact, he may not even need to push across at all until he hits that 200 mark at this point, because, you know, he's limited his opponent's economy for so long that he can actually just sort of sit back, get his big units together, get the AoE together that he needs, such as the Colossi, maybe even look towards Storms, and put himself in a really good position, because at this point, as we said before, it's Alopex who needs to make the decision. What about, you know, to try and do something at this point, because he's still sitting quite far behind, still sitting on just the 3 bases, and now as some DTs move forwards, it looks as if Alopex is preparing to attack into this 3rd base again. He wants to try and get a pinch coming in just from one side, and then also coming in from the other, the Hydra. One stray Hydra going to get some shots going on there, but Blysk has decided to target down the lair, then move into the mineral line and try and take down some drones, and the lair is now gone as that falls apart. Blysk is going to be under quite a lot of pressure with the Zerg units approaching from the right. He's going to force field some off to the side as well, and now we can see that, yeah, with that, I mean, there was no real way to attack into that. A great wall set up here from Blysk, a couple of cannons to slow things down, and with the Planetary Fortress active, that means that a lot of these units were not going to really get too much done, and obviously with half the rest of the forces across on the left-hand side not able to get through the force field wall, it was all done and dusted for Alopex, who lost his lair back at home. So that was a interesting game there from these 2 players, both being a little bit aggressive and then sort of you know, trying to figure out what to do from the certain stages they were put in. Hope you all enjoy the match. I'll catch you all next time. Here, as you can see, 47 damage to bio units, and then the 34 damage against other standard targets. His Storms have also been wonderful, just spreading them out across the battlefield, doing really, really nicely there. And for Minigun, he's been sticking with a much more